Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Good stuff. Is there anything
Oh,
you guys want me to go over before I just start waffling or?
no, you're cool. I'll be in the background 'cause I'm doing my daughter's homework at the same time.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't
As
make her
she
get a
plays
fail,
about.
mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be with you the whole time, although I am going for a whiz, so I'll turn my microphone off for that. But I'll probably turn my camera off, maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but
no, I'm not. But as far as stuff to go through, you start waffling, I'll probably jump in with a few questions.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's fine, mate. I'll get to the
I
start of this move then, mate, and if you want to jump in, like I say, just jump in and
yeah,
ask any
I took
questions.
one trade today on was it USD AUD, but that wasn't bankers. That was just my other thing that I do. But might be interesting if to see what you if there's anything on there from a banker's perspective.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, otherwise waffle.
Well, GU at the minute, mate. I'll get to it in a minute. It's range bound on the 1 minute. I'm waiting for a 1 minute break of structure. Um,
Right.
it's whether it's. I think Wyckoff is obviously it's the distribution of orders from the small players to the big players. I don't know
Right.
which way it's going, but I'm hoping it's going to go my way. So, but like I say, from here, mate, I've got a trend line in here, and then obviously
Mhm.
you got a big sweep down here, and then a break of structure to the upside, so above here with this here, and then the market sort of like starts to trend upwards. You can see after it breaks structure here, draw it on. So you got a break structure there. You got break structure there. Price comes back into it to mitigate this here. So this is the bank putting a sell order in and then putting a buy order in. So one order up here will be in profit, one will be in negative. So they'll get price to come back down here to get out of the sell order that would be massively in drawdown here. This is how it's sort of explained to me anyway. That's how I sort of see it. So this is them getting out of the orders. Once it comes back into this, I always wait for a 15-minute break structure. So structure 15. So as soon as price is here, I'll be looking at this and going, price breaks above that. That's the 15-minute structure for me. That's the higher time frame telling me wants to go up. We broke structure on the 2 or 4 hour here. The 15's telling me wants to go up. Then when it eventually comes back, and then when price hits the orange box that I create, I'll not go into the boxes for a lot about them every week. People are probably sick of it. There's other videos that people can watch. So it's come back, it's hit the orange box from the 15-minute break of structure, which is wick low to the starting imbalance. So on this, we've got structure that is that. We'll go with red. So 1 minute structure is this here for me. I've drawn this line and this line at the peak high of the body wicks don't count for me. So I've got the line from the body there and there. And as you can see, so my understanding is anything between this high and this low is internal and just noise. But as you can see, it's tapping, it's wicked through it a couple of times here and there, with it just here. So it's just range bound in this at the minute. So me, obviously I'm waiting for a buy. I'm hoping for. I mean, it might not play out right now. It might be tomorrow or whatever. But ideally, I would like to see a sweep of the lows along here, so it breaks to the downside. I'd want to see it break to the upside, come back to the origin of this move in here. Hopefully, there'd be like a nice little order block at the bottom of there, nice and small. Come back to mitigate, and then go long. Quite a lot longer than that, but yeah, just from a higher time frame point of view, if it was to play out like that, I sort of think structure for me is low to high, low creates a new high. These two are similar lows, something like that. As soon as that gets broke, so you'd maybe class that as structure. We've got that as a possibility of structure, or along the same lines as that could almost class same. This would be the same, but you could almost class that as structure. If that's one long leg, then it can do anything in this, or it would, as long as it can break this low here, where the 15 is, it will come down here and you've got the potential to come back and create a new high. Somewhere up there, which is a lot of pips if it plays out anything like that. Over 350 pips. I probably wouldn't hold it that long anyway, but that's literally what I'm sort of hoping might play out. There is some areas just below to the 2 hours. Yeah. So the origin of the move see. So from the origin of this move where I started the red box, there is plenty of imbalance built here. So I am wary that it could literally just fly through all that. But this is one of the reasons why I always wait for like a 15-minute or 1-minute break of structure. Like I say, it's just helplessly sideways at the minute, which is hopefully, like I say, the big players just collecting orders, making liquidity to take, and then take it where they want to go. So I've got a later set of both these lines anyway, the high and the low. Just hopefully it plays out as I would want it to, but it might just fly straight through once it does what it's done. If it breaks straight through here, nothing lost. So yeah, that's currently GU what I'm looking at. I've got Euro GBP that's fairly similar. I'm waiting for it to tap into this orange box. Again, it's just got range down. This where the from there from the high. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow I think I get some of that. And then I'm going to break the structure of some sorts. This one here is a continuation of a trade I missed. We've got sort of I'm not very good at re-entries or second entries on trades. I tend to be able to catch like the original move, and then after that I become a bit stuck, to be honest. Just, I mean, this is another one at second entry or re-entry, but I tend to be better at catching the beginning of the moves, just because I wait for the 15-minute and 1 minute breaking structures and compass combinations, and a lot of the time they just tap into zones that don't gear that. So I think, as you can see, yeah, as you can see, this would have just tapped into this without breaking structure before returning. So yeah, I don't tend to get re-entries. Another chart that I have been keeping a close eye on is GBP JPY. I think this might be a bit of a distribution sort of going on. If you got any questions, guys, by the way, just ask.
Still hanging on every word, mate.
So yeah, I think some of this is possibly what's happening on GJ. Can you see that, well, mate? You've got the leg. I've uploaded a picture from Google of the Wyckoff distribution. It looks like this.
Right.
It looks fairly similar to what it could be. It has technically broken structure below here, I believe, and just maybe, but I think it was 15 anyway. But yeah, just below there, and it's just broken here, I believe. But yeah, this Wyckoff photo that you can see here. It sort of almost follows price. So maybe we'll maybe this is distributing. It's something I've been watching for a while. But again, it just range bound, but it's slowly moving up. I'd say a little bit of a breakthrough thing. We'll see. It's I do think if this breaks the current zone it's in, so my red box, I think this is likely to go long for a very long time. Blue line to yeah, I think if price breaks with this, then there's just not much in the way up here that's going to stop it. So
How many pips are you normally going for? Because that's a big range there, isn't it?
that one there will be, mate. Yes, it's. I think it's only so big on this one because it's so far back. So I can't go. I don't think I can reach further back than on the 4 hour. So I've had to pick a 4 hour zone. I think originally there is a 1 hour, 1 hour candle in here, pretty much where it's at now, to this high. But yeah, I tend to go for 4 hour zones anyway, just because sometimes it goes off a supply zone as such, and you sort of catch the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, if that's what the perfect setup's on, if that makes any sense. One that I posted in the group the other day is for JPY. This one played out lovely at 4:04 in the morning, I think it was. again, we've got a trend line in here, there, pretty sweet. Price comes back on 15. Yeah, it breaks this low here, breaks 15, comes back. Yeah. Closer to see that. Comes very deep into the zone and this. There, so you've got this. This is the low that puts in this lot of highs here. You maybe even consider that one. You maybe say that structure, but then this takes this all these lows out. So we have a breaker structure on the 1 minute here, and then you should look in somewhere in this leg here for a 1 minute candle. Got this in here. I think it looked really nice on like 50 cents or anything. But I'll not get into that because I won't advise it really unless you're really experienced. And that goes obviously. This, like I say, this played out at 4:42 in the morning. So nearly 9 minutes later, the entry would have been. So I was still in bed for this, but I had meal later for this. It just played out in the middle of the night. I did post this in the supply and demand chat, I believe. I think this one could go a long way based on a higher time frame structure. It could fall somewhere down into here, if not here. It's currently today. It would have, if I'd have been in it, it would have hit a 1 to 60. Yeah, but if like I say, if it hits these lows, it would be 116.
Do you say a 1 to 60?
You what, sorry, mate?
Do you say a 1 to 60, not 60 pips, 1 to 60, do you say?
No, I said 1 to 160.
Oh, right, okay.
It's 116, sorry, mate. If it was like
Right.
current low, mate. Like I said, I didn't get in it, mate. I missed it. It played out early hours of the morning, so I didn't do it. But like I say, currently, I mean, today at what 2 o'clock this afternoon, it hit a 1 to 60. If I'd have got in and held it for a couple of day and a half, it would have been. Yeah, day and a half, mate. It'll reach the 1 to 60. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm looking at the minute, or looked at. I'll maybe try and look for another entry on this if I can until it breaks. Major structure. This. So we have. We get some of the breaks through that like level there. We might get something like this. The origin of this thing that starts to break this, maybe get an entry or something like that and a continuation. But it's not something that I'm particularly good at, like I say, because I wait for the 15-minute and the 1 minute break structures. Like I say, these often just tap into like a 5 or a 15-minute order block here. But it don't give me confirmation, so I'm not too happy with them. Yeah, that's about that, guys. You got any questions you want me to answer, Scott, or go over anything? chat more rubbish. Look through charts.
Sorry, mate, still balls deep in homework.
Oh yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry. What strategy you laid in, mate?
Supply and demand. Yeah, a bit of scalping here and there.
Yeah,
Occasionally, but I'm never at home. I use footprint charts as well, but I'm hardly ever at home for that. So,
yeah.
but that'll be one for the future.
Yeah, I'll just go back to this other one then, mate, and I'll go over a little bit of liquidities and stuff like that for people that might watch it back. So on here on GU on the I'm waiting for the 1 minute break of structure. On the line chart, you've got obviously body closes on this, so you've got liquidity up here, and I believe this to be a sweep here. Obviously, it didn't break structure. If it had a broken structure, I would have thoroughly been thinking that price would have come back up into candle in here. Probably this candle here. Maybe expect the price to come back into that and then go sell off straight through this maybe. Yeah, so I'm literally just waiting for this. I want it to go one way or the other. It will do that eventually. It's just getting liquidity, taking it. This will be people that are impatient that are seeing these support lines, we're going to get taken out. The orders are going to go to the big boys. There'll be people selling, buying off these. But obviously, it's a good example. This is a good example of why we don't trade trend lines. Because so in here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. I've gone off the bodies. So once you get like a third touch, people will start seeing a trend line at this touch here. Coming back, we'll be putting sell orders. That's we're putting sell orders on this. So, and then what we back to do, don't smash price through it, take all their stop losses. But bearing in mind, this is probably up to millions of people putting these sort of trades on just off the bounce off. Gives a little bounce off when people think it's going to come all the way back down here to this support under here, maybe thinking that you're going to put that trade on. The banks come in, do the manipulation, put a buy order in, put a sell order in, take all the stop losses, and then it goes the way it was going to go anyway. So this is why we don't trade trend lines. We tend to wait for manipulation. Banks will bring price, probably the price back up into here. Yeah, so then do sell off a little bit, whether it breaks structure or I don't know, but it sort of makes sense. I would maybe say that it will do that. And make it break just below these, be ideal for me. Do that, then if it breaks structure, that'd be perfect for me, something like that. Obviously, no one knows exactly what's going to happen. With the dream, obviously. Nice little 3 pip stop loss or something like that, the ideal.
And you always wait for the second touch, don't you? When it's second tap in.
So if that was to play out how I wanted. So like if it breaks to the downside, then breaks above this on the structure on the upside, then I would wait for I would be waiting for. So I'll do it as a sell, mate. So like if this is, so like this break structure here, down here, break structure. If this was flipped in reverse, if that was at the bottom, I would want price to come back into it, and the entry would be here once it's broken structure to the way I want it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll draw it on properly now. You've got time. So price coming to there, breaks to the downside in here, break to the upside. So we've got a break structure to the upside, which is what I'm waiting for. There'd be a candle in here. So my entry would become, so like it was there. That's as soon as I get that, as soon as this move puts in. Minutes might do it now. I think it's spread out. It's probably going to play out here for it now. But yeah, once this move puts in the new high, so it breaks this high here, useful range band between this flick here. If it was to break that, so it's the origin that puts in the breaker structure. So I'd be looking for a nice little banker's candle somewhere in here. As soon as it set me pending, as soon as it breaks this high here, set me pending. Once I find a candle that setup I'll be happy with, then just set it and hopefully it'll go. It could be a fairly biggish one, mate. I do think it targets somewhere here ultimately, but I'll certainly be taking like money out on the way.
Just going back into that one, is that because when you're zoomed in again in a second, is that because you're consolidating and you're waiting for it to then break out of that consolidation zone?
Yeah.
So you wait for it to.
So if we go back to the beginning of the move, obviously we're pretty. I know this is sort of like retracing or bullish at the minute, but I think because of structure, I think we are bullish overall. So you've got big expansions, retracement, big expansion, retracement, big expansion, retracement. So we could be waiting for a big expansion to somewhere into here. As a possibility, it could go further, obviously, but I would think if we're gonna get someone at least into somewhere there in here, please. Like I say, that's a lot of tips. I don't think I'd want to hold it for 250 odd tips. Do you know what I mean? It'd be nice. It would be nice, but it's one of them things, mate. I'm not quite ready for that amount of money. I don't think. Although it sounds daft, it's weird because remember when I first started and I was thinking at the time, I was like, oh, I'm ready to just make loads of money. And then you start seeing these numbers and it plays with your emotions, mate. We're not actually ready for it, to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, others might listen to that and think, no, you're lying. But, when I'm currently on an evaluation and, I've lost trades in 40 seconds, losing $1,000 in 40 seconds,
Yeah.
You just don't do that because we don't do that in the line of work that we're in, So it's all, it's not used to it, mate. So it's just something we've got to work up to rather than just going, yeah, I'm going to be rich. So, that's my theory on it, anyway.
Yeah, no, I still have the same. I've got my live account that I generally trade from, and it's taken me a long time to get to kind of where I am. But it's upwards. It's in the hole. It's kind of I have to zoom out and look at the 4-hour chart rather than look at the 1 minute chart on my bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I think that's why what I'm doing works so well because I'm basically trying to find these big 4 hour moves, if you like, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to get the 1 minute entry. And I almost feel like, because I mean, I could have got in here. Obviously, I had the sweep, breaking structure. I could have got in straight off that.
Mm.
What would that have been? I mean, it's definitely meant to be scoffed at, you know. That's what I'm at now, it's 25 pips. Could have got in that at 25 to 1. You know, it's a great trade.
Mm.
But time wise,
Yeah.
we could have gone 22 days. You know, I don't want to be in a trade for 22 days. You know,
No. No.
so but I can, like say, looking at that AJ or JB AJ trade, that's gone 2 days and it's hit 1 to 60. You know,
Yeah.
But-
I don't like being in long at all.
no, I'm all right. I can hold, and I'm getting better and better. It's yeah. I can't see. I can't really. I don't really think I'd go longer than 2 or 3 days, to be honest. But
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I've been doing. I think I told you on the when we were up in
Yeah,
Redditch.
Reddit. Yeah.
Yeah, that I've been doing this kind of like just trading with the trend bit, but I mean it's this swing bankers and supply and demand it's just it's a well I would like to say it's a lot more reliable, a lot more accurate.
Yeah.
Not when I do it, that's all. But I'm getting there, I'm constantly learning. But at least the other method is still bringing my bankroll up. But
Yeah.
it's I like to be in and out, so I'm like I just scalp 10 pips and then I'm out, and that's why I just every day I just go for 10 pips, and usually it's my stop loss is more than my profit, so that's why when I get a loss then it takes me back a couple of days kind of thing. So
Right.
but,
Yeah. How do you find trading a couple of strategies, man? Because I thought about like maybe this myself, because what I do, obviously how I trade at the minute, other than when it gets to 1 minute, like I don't really do much if it's just one of them things. It's I'll come on the charts and I'll update charts or reset the latest and things, but I can spend 20
yeah
30 minutes and mark up 30 charts, not much happens
yeah
until I get to the
I
1
think
minute,
I mean I'm starting to get a bit better at it, but especially at the beginning, like it's difficult like doing the two strategies, and there's not too much to the other strategy, and I don't really want to go into it because it's a bit dodgy really. It's I wouldn't recommend it really, but it's I found myself talking myself out of a hell of a lot of trades because you combining the two together and they don't necessarily match up. So I'll be supply and demand and bankers and trying to combine it with what I'm doing on this one, and then I just taught myself out. Whereas Kaya, who I kind of talk with and do it with her quite a lot, she's in and out and got all these pips, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't take it because of this and this, and every single day I'm talking myself out of it, and so yeah, combine them can be quite tough. You got to be quite strict with yourself that this is the strategy and don't mix them together.
Yeah, I imagine, mate. It was because I was thinking about doing like this and then the Asian range stuff. It's fairly similar, but yeah, it's just I couldn't. Every time I seem to put a trade on, I seem to lose the Asian range one, and that's the one that like drags me back.
Right. Yeah.
But they happen. Like I get on these, I get like 1, sometimes 2 a week, but then sometimes I go like 2 or 3 weeks without anything at all. But if I can take an Asian range trade every day, so I can get like a few losses on that before I get a good one on one of these, And then I've obviously got to hit the trade as well, because with some of them, obviously they hit in the middle of the night when you're not awake and stuff. So
Yeah. See, that's what I'm not good at doing, like waiting these long periods of time, like waiting a week to get a trade and stuff. I'm like, that's why just getting 10 pips does kind of suit me. I just kind of I can look within my most days I'll be able to pick up 10 pips somewhere or other.
Yeah.
I like the fast moving charts like EJ. The JPY pairs generally are pretty
Yeah,
fast moving. I like to jump in on those. But yeah, I did an odd one today, odd USD, but very slow, but they tend to pay out a bit better.
yeah. I do like all pairs. I don't just really dislike any, to be honest. There's a couple on